Let's see the yesterday's issues. Let me open the process, yesterday's process. See, the main reason yesterday it was failing with the custom script is always the properties. Always the properties will store the values in always properties will store the values in string format only. The what we were trying as in the last session was we were trying to store the docs. Where is this docs? Yes, this was it returns an integer type. Get document count, get data count, nothing but it will do 2, 3, 4 like this. It will return the integer type. But we have to store that integer to we have to convert that integer to string. Even when you are, let's say, if you are doing a counter operation. First thing, when you are store a data in a variable, first whenever you are working in whenever you are working in custom scripting, first you have to retrieve the value from the property, and then you need to convert from string to integer. Then you do all your manipulations. Then while setting the property back again, you need to convert that integer to string back again, because always the properties will store the data in string formats only. Maybe even you can see this information somewhere in help document. Maybe let's open somewhere here. Maybe help document process properties. Let's go somewhere here, process properties. I think you can now let's try to run it. It might be specified somewhere. Values are stored as characters. You can see that. Important things to know about dynamic process property. It's not only for dynamic process property, everything. Values are stored as a character. If you store numeric or data type values, you may need to cast or reformat them when retrieving or mapping. If you will use other data types, process property components are easier to use because you can select the data type. If you are going with the dynamic process property, by default we don't have any option of specifying what type it is. But if you're creating a process property component, yes, we do have the option of specifying the type of a character. So let's same thing. Nothing I done much. I just stored this one here and directly referred this one here. Okay, now let's run this process. Even we can use this map. I think I did not replace this one. Let me configure this property. Actually, once we open it, right, we have to see the message. In the message, we are actually specifying this property. Where exactly you can see the output? Output you can see here. In the log, you can see that. How many documents were actually coming here? You can see only here today you are getting only two documents. We are getting only two documents, so we are getting the count also to here. You can see the count also. If you go here, you can see four documents. Two documents are coming from this part, and two documents are coming from the second branch part. You can see the two. Here also. Last one also. The key thing you need to remember is you know always the properties will store data in characters. So you need to show if you want to set the value to property again the custom scripting you need to convert integer type to string and then you need to set it the property. If you are retrieving you convert from the string to integer after you retrieve the property and then you do all your manipulations. That's the fundamental thing. Now, okay, you are trying other thing. Sure, we'll try with the other one. We are not able to do with file load the WSDL file. Let's open connectors. And then it is a file. File after that. So what I can do instead of I put a WSDL here in the desktop, I maybe put somewhere some other directory. Oh, actually, I did not. Yeah, it's a WSDL type only. Let me open this notepad to refresh. Even you see all the file types of slashes with the forward slashes only, not backslashes. Now let me do file path. Hatch replace. Let's change this. Let's click on save. Maybe we can specify endpoint URL. Endpoint URL. Then click on save, and then let's go for the operation. I think we did not have new operation. Let me create a new operation. Yeah, connector operation. click on import, select the atom. Yes, this is right. Fine. Yes, we are able to load it. So only thing, okay, even if you have doubt, we don't need actually this one. This is not required for design time. Click on save, save and close. Now continue further. Yes, we are able to create it. So we are able to get and we can use the get all. It means what was the mistake we done yesterday is we just put multiple slashes. Let's try whether only that's causing the issue or keeping on desktop it causes the problem. Let's try this. No, maybe because of desktop is not accessible. We have to keep it the file somewhere else. The same things are available. Okay. So not only this, we can put the triple slashes also. Okay, then we done with yesterday's two issues, and then we'll see how we can configure a JMS, how we can work with JMS connector, how we can work with JMS connector. See how we can work with JMS connector. We'll see the first how we can install ActiveMQ. So why do we need to go for the JMS? JMS is actually a Java messaging service. It was a framework was developed by the Sun. Now it's acquired by the Oracle. So on this framework, they have the multiple implementations are there. So many JMS providers are there. Like Sun has a JMS, and IBM has a WebSphere MQ, WebSphere MQ there, and Apache have their active MQ was there, and even Oracle has their advanced QAQ, and uh, like different queues are there. Let me just open the technology connector. What and all JMS connectors it will be supporting. Go for JMS connection. You can see that JMS will be supported. Delbumi JMS connector will be supported for these many types of JMS vendors. ActiveMQ. This is ActiveMQ is basically from the Apache, and the Oracle AQ Advanced AQ. This is also from Oracle. It's on top of a database. It will sit it. And only Oracle AQ will be available only for the two types of a databases. One is Oracle database, and another one is the SQL server. And the WebSphere MQ is from the IBM, and I'm not sure from who is the vendor for this. And even if you are not, other than that, even you can use the other generic JNA. Generic JNA, but nothing but let's me. I wanted to use the Kipco JNA. Then, because generic JNA can be able to do with all the things. So first of all, why do you need to go for the JMS connector? What are the advantages of the JMS connector? The JMS connector is just a messaging bus. JMS connector is a messaging bus. Using this messaging bus, you can send and receive a messages. There will be a one client. Let's say we have let's say we have Even we can call the same, there is a called client. Even we can call the same one as a client. And this is a server. See the client, oh, we can, the client, what the client will be doing, client will send a messages to the server, because the server from the central point, the server is a, we can manage everything from server. The advantage of the JMS is, using this one we can achieve the asynchronous communication. So one of the purpose we used it for asynchronous communication. There was a issue with the, when the other system was invoking our TIPCO, our Delbumi services, and in the Delbumi service they were sending a request, and we were receiving the request and they're processing it, and we need to send the response immediately. So and we have some other process. Even though we are calling all the process, even though we are executing all the process, still it is taking time. Still it is taking time, because if when we call a child process, how it can do. Uh, Let me open the process call. What exactly it will do? Even though when we call the child process, after the all child process gets executed, the child process gets executed, until that it is not exactly replying back to the client. You can see that we have two options here. Once on the process call, wait for process to complete. It means if you make it on call process, wait for the sub process to complete before continue to the next step. If off, call process reports a sub-process error after all sub-process. It means it won't wait for it. The parent process will just trigger it, and then it will be, child process will be executing in a separate thread. But even we selected this option, we are actually not able to send the response immediately. What we were trying to do, as soon as we receive a response request from the client, we just send that message to the JMS server. Send the message to the JMS server, and we'll send the response back immediately back to the client. And we have another process that will receive the message from the JMS, and then it will process the message. Why basically it required is, we have some certain sequence of steps. If even the, actually from the client point of view, that the client point of view, they have an application on their end. It's works in kind of a sequence of tasks. We can say the sequence of task nothing but workflow. The workflow nothing but it have a sequence of tasks. One of the tasks was the web services that we call the Boomi service, and Boomi internal process. Once you send a request, it internally uses some other operations. Before using all the operations, we have two things. Based on the, we'll be pulling all the request data, and then based on that we have another web services with the operation complete task or wait task. If you want to complete task or cancel the task, depends on success or failure. You need to get the task ID, what and all the task status. If you don't send the response to Boomi, if you don't send the response Boomi, if you don't send the response, client will not come to the waiting state, because it's a big lack of the communication. Always a Boomi was executing entire thing in a synchronous manner. I wanted to make my process to run in asynchronous manner. That's the only option we have option for running in asynchronous manner is using a JMS. So what we have done to replicate that, as soon as the client send a request, we will send the complete request data into a JMS, send the complete data into a JMS, and then we'll send the response back immediately to the client. So it will be immediately. And from the client side, since we already Boomi send a response immediately, it will come to the waiting task. That wait task will be the next task in the workflow. So as soon as it comes to the wait task in the process, Boomi process, we can able to complete or reject the task. So here also the one who published the message, The one who publishes the message, we can call it as a producer. The one who publishes the message is called as a producer. And when the producer send a message, the message will be stored on the server. And then the message will be available until the client nothing but the one who consume the message, we can call it as a consumer. Until the consumer consumes the message will not be deleted from the server. Totally we have two objects to manage. One is queue, another one is a topic. These two things, will call it as a destinations. Means when the client, we can say we can sender, even we can call it as a sender also. Producer or sender, receiver, even we can say one more thing called subscriber. Then we can call it as a publisher. See, we have a when the client sends a message, the message will be stored either of this object, either queue or topic inside a server. See, these are the queues are using for different purpose and topics have a different purpose. And queue have the property like one-to-one. Let's say if one message you send, one message, a client has sent one message. Let's say let me explain queue and topic functionality. Okay, you have let me just drag it here. Okay. See, let me explain you the queue and topic. What's the exact difference between the queue and topic? But queue and topic both are for different purpose. Let's say when the client sends a 5 messages. Okay, let's say client sends a 5 messages. When client sends a 5 messages, and those 5 messages will be stored inside a queue. These 5 messages will be stored inside a queue. Even we can see that how many pending messages are there. When I say pending, means it is yet to be consumed. These are nothing but pending. So when you publish a 5 messages, the 5 messages will be available on queue. But depends on the number of consumer it connected to the queue. If let's say both consumers are connected to the same queue, it means the queue functionality is it will be deliver the messages in round robin fashion. It means whatever the message first delivered, first message would be here, and then second message would be received here, and then again third message would be received here, and then fourth message would be received here, and then again five messages will be received here. Like this is round robin fashion, means a sequence. So means each and every point at any point of time only one message would be delivered to the one consumer. In when if you are using the queue as an object, if you are using queue an object for your communication, you can say the clients, we can say either sender or producer. and this another receiver, you can say this whoever receives the message, you can call it as a receiver or consumer. If your same thing is using the, instead of using queue, if you are using a topic, you will call it as a publisher and subscriber. So it means in queue at any point of time only one message would be delivered to the one consumer only. But instead, if you are using the same file, okay, let's say you are using a topic as, you are using topic as messaging model, and then if your multiple receivers are connected, each receiver will receive all the messages, it means any point of time the same message would be delivered to the all subscribers. Let's say you have best example is FM. We have a FM radio is there. If you wanted, there is some 98.3, some of the channels are there. If you wanted to listen the that particular channel, you just have to tune to that frequency, so automatically you will be listen. And because whoever will be publishing on that station will be only one, but the consumers will be n number of consumers will be there. Similarly here, that's what we can call subscribing. Whoever want, say here the topic, the same message would be delivered to the multiple clients here. But whereas in queue, one message would be delivered to the one subscriber, even though multiple subscribers are connected, multiple consumers are connected. Only thing is, if multiple consumers are connected, all the messages would be delivered in round robin fashion or sequence, we can say. But whereas in topic, the same message would be delivered for all of the subscribers. That's the main difference between the queues and topic. So now we going to see how we are going to use the Apache as an MQ server. We are using the active MQ server. For this one, this is from the Apache vendor. Okay, so we will be using this one. First, we'll see how to install and how to configure it, how to download and install and configure, and then we can see how we can make it work with Boomi. First, let's go here. Go over Google. Just type Apache ActiveMQ. Okay, just type ActiveMQ. Then go for here, Apache ActiveMQ, and then the latest release would be 5.13.3. Just click on here. So you can see that it is not an installable exactly. It's a zip distribution, Windows distribution. You just need to click on this one. Once you click on this, it will download for you. You can see that it will be downloaded. I already downloaded, so I don't want to re-download again. So once you download it, okay, I think it is now downloaded. Once you download it, you just have to unzip it. So I have unzipped it to here. So once you unzip it, just go for bin folder, and you need to install the if you want, you can run it on command prompt, but as soon as you close the command prompt, your server will be closed it. But I wanted to make this MQ server as a Windows installation service. So for that one, go for command prompt. Make sure open the command prompt with another administrator. Let me change the fonts. Font size is very less. I want to change it to 20. Okay. So let's go back. First, you need to identify which version of Java it was running in your machine, because based on that, this is not a Windows version. This was a Java version. Which Java version you are using in your laptop? So how we can check the Java version is Java, just type Java version if installed properly, because by default it already been installed. If you are as part of a Boomi uh, Atom installation, it automatically download the JDK for you. So when you just click on Java iPhone version, it will show you that whether it's 64 or 34-bit. In case if it is 64-bit, you will see that 64-bit server. If it's 32-bit, you won't get this 64-bit one. You get some other one. So if you are getting 64-bit, means you have to get into the inside this folder. Let's copy this folder. Let's do cd change directly to this folder, and then you can see there is one install. You just have to install this one. Okay. Once you click on install, let's say install. When you just as soon as click on enter, this will get installed it. So I already installed it. As soon as it get installed, it will be installed it. So after that, as soon as you installed it, there will be one service file will be created here in the services.msc. This is the service. By default, it will not be status will be empty. You just have right click and then click on start. Click on start. So then your service will be started. So by default, the service would be having the admin console. Let me go here. Go for docs. Let's open the maybe user guide or index. Open this one. You can see the getting started. The getting started, if you want to run, you can use it. Inside bin folder, you can directly. But as soon as you close it, right, this will be closed it. It will be closed. You want to make it as a Windows services, then the one I just given, you need to follow that. But as by default, the server will be accessible here. Just click on this one. Replace these things with localhost. Okay, basically it requires the username and password. Default password would be admin. This also admin. Okay, as soon as you open, if this will open only when it is running. If your ActiveMQ is not in running state, it won't open. So here you can see how many queues are there, what are the topics are there, subscribers. You can see the connections. Even you can uh, publish a message here. Sorry. Let's say if you wanted to create a queue, you just have to type queue name and then click on create. Automatically the queue name will be gets created it here. Okay. So let's see now. As of now, we have downloaded and installed and configured, and now ActiveMQ server was running fine. Now I need to do the same configuration, some kind of a configuration from Boomi side, so that Boomi can able to connect it to the ActiveMQ. By default, ActiveMQ will not able to connect it. So let's see what and all the configuration we need to do. Go for JMS connector. You can see that to set up a connector, get your JMS provider's jar files and copy them to Atom install directory. And if you don't find these directories, user lib JMS. Let me show you. I have created these directories. This was my Atom installation directory. This was my Atom installation root directory. Under that, what you wanted to maintain, user lib. Yes, I have actually created user lib folder, and then you wanted to put inside a one more folder called JMS. Inside this JMS, he wanted to download, put all the vendor JMS provider specific jar files. So where can you get it? Even you can this what and all file name you wanted to be copied, that will be specified as part of JMS connection. Let's click on to the JMS connection. Go select the ActiveMQ as a connection. ActiveMQ, because the configuration will be different. So once you go there, to enable ActiveMQ, put the following two jar files in the user lib JMS directory. So what are the jar files? When you go for the installation of ActiveMQ, the lib folder, whatever the jar file you was referring, you will get these jar files. What was the jar file? First you can see that jar. You can see these jar files are located in ActiveMQ home. This was the ActiveMQ home, and inside this lib directory. And you can see this one. This was the proper Geronimo J2EE management 1.1 spec 110. This is the one jar file you wanted to copy. Let's copy this and then copy this jar file to the Boomi lib, user lib and JMS directory. And one more thing is this was a older version. You can see that. And here your version might be different. What was the version we are using it? 5.13. You can see that 5.13.3 means we have to copy the jar file for this directory. Where exactly we can get it? Okay, let's copy. We did not actually get it. Did not actually get it in the installation of this one. We got some broker and all the things. So what I have done it, I just googled it here. Google ActiveMQ code. When you type, automatically you will get it. Maven dependency. This is actually one kind of a repository. Maven repository is a one repository. From there you can download all your corresponding jar files. No, it's not this one. Don't go with this one. Okay. Let's go ActiveMQ core. Don't see about the version. Okay, you have to select the proper version 5.13.3. Why you are not getting here? Let's go back. Let's go back and open another URL. Here also it is showing 5.3 only. I have seen somewhere. You can just go. I think you can. I'll just ping this URL. Maybe you can. We can use this URL for downloading the jar file. So let's go to this URL and then make sure you'll be there in all jar bundle. Click on this one and then select the 5.13.3, the version that you installed it. So when you select this one, it automatically download some jar files for you. Where is this? One second. It should be there. Yeah, I already downloaded. That's the reason it's not showing. Maybe I already downloaded. It's not showing. So as soon as you open it, so you'll have the when you click on it, it will be downloaded one jar file here. That would be. We go for download. You can see this is the jar file. But as soon as you get it, because jar files automatically it will say that it is harmful. You can see as soon as you click on that URL, right, it will be ActiveMQ all 5.13.3 jar file will be this is the jar file will be downloaded automatically. So let me go back to the C, movie atmosphere. This was the atom I configured it here. Go to the user lib and then JMS. I have copied that one, whatever the downloaded one. For safer side, even that I was just copy the broker one also. Total these things I copied it here. And then since I have done some changes, I wanted to restart my Boomi service. Just go for Boomi and then click on restart. Stop and start again. Okay, then the atom will be loading with this. Now atom would be having these jar files in class path. And the next thing is what we need to do. Let's there was a connection factories we need to go for. So connection factory lookup. Basically, there are two ways to connect to the JMS server. One is that mandatory parameters would be you need to provide the server URL. Default URL would be this one. We are taking everything default. The provider URL would be you need to specify the provider URL. And next thing is that if anything required, username and password. With these details on the fly, it will connect to the JMS server. How basically the connection will be established? There is one object called connection factories. Connection factories. This is the connection factories an object. This will help us to create the session for the JMS server. Instead of we directly creating a connection factories, what we can do? This is a one server, JNDI server. JNDI server nothing but Java naming directory interface. This is a kind of a lookup. You just create a one object here. From that object you will try to get all the session as well as the if any queues or topics you wanted to retrieve all these things. So even you wanted to configure JNDI because we have to must and should use the JNDI to connect to the any JMS server from the Dell Boom. So let's see how we can configure the JNDI. Just Google it. ActiveMQ JNDI configuration. When you click on, just go first URL. You can say that you have to download this property. You have to download this, save this into a jnda.property file. Okay, just save entire these things as a just giving a copy paste. Let's save this URL and save this entire content with the file called jndi.properties file. And then keep this property file in the class path. By default, class path in the sense if you put it program files, even if you put inside bin also, this will be in program files only. This will be in class path because by default all the libraries and everything will be there inside this one. So you just have to put. You can put anywhere. Only thing is just this property file should be in class path. Okay, you can maybe it was working for me, and now you can put it inside a bin folder, JNDI property file, and don't change anything. You can keep it as default. And as soon as you done this change, right? Again you restart your MQ server. Means now your MQ server is configured as well as the Dell Boomi also configured to enable it to connect to the active MQ. So now let's coming to the testing. Now creating a process and then doing testing it. Okay. Go to the Boomi process. Click on create. See, there are the JMS. Since it's an event-based operation similar to the web services, when you configure the listen option can be configured for the two of the connectors. One is the web services and then is the JMS. It means when you configure listen, the listen actions will not able to test in local. Listen actions will not able to test in local. It can only be test once we deploy it. What exactly a listen means? As soon as the difference between get and listen. Okay, the listen should be configured in the start shape only. Get you can configure anywhere. Inside the process, we can drag and drop one more connector and we can configure it with the connector. But main difference is Listen means as soon as one message arrive into the queue, if you configure a connector with listen, your process will automatically started with that queue. But until and the we get right, even though message available, until unless you run a process that contains a connector with a get action, then only the message will be consumed it. This is automatically as soon as it comes, it will be started. Listen, and get is not like that. You have to run manually. Then you have to whenever your process runs, then only it will connect to the queue and then it will try to get the message. That's the main difference between get and listen. So even web service also we are doing same, right? As soon as client send a request, your server will be accepting the request. Because how it is accepting? It's because it's already by default it will be there in listen. So now we'll just take everything default. Take a default. We just take no data here. And then let me put some message. Let me put some data. Maybe we can, okay, I think we can directly read the file content. We have, let me try to open one of the XML file. Okay, this is the configure Sftp get and configure anything. This is a directory we're actually reading a file. As soon as we read a file, I want to send the message to JMS. Send the message to the JMS. As soon as you send a message, I wanted to receive also. I wanted to check what the message you received it. So if I wanted to do sequence of actions, let's go back to the branch. Same data would be for JMS. We need to send a message now. Let's configure the active MQ. So let's take everything. I wanted to specify active MQ. You can see it take everything default, the connection factory, and then I have to specify the connection factory JNDA lookup, which is the connection factory, because based on the connection factory only it will connect to the server. So this is the part exactly where we need to use the JNDA.property file here. Let's open. Okay, this is what is the JNDA name we specified here. Connection factory name what we specified. You can access any one of them. This is a generic one. If you want to only use queue connection factory, you can this queue connection factory only work with if you are using any queues. And if a topic connection factory, if you are using only any topics, you can use only topics. But if this is generic, even this can be used for working with queues and topics. Okay, I wanted to make it work with a queue connection factory. So what basically do, it will just go looking into the server with this context factory. Yes, this context factory already available here. Control Z, Control Left. You can see that with this context factory, it will able to find out, to the server, and then it will try to look up whatever the you given these details, whatever you give in the queue connection factory, it will try whether this particular thing is there or not. If it is there, then based on that, even it can get the connection details as well as the queues and topic details. Okay, now we have done this one. Save and close. And then I wanted to send an operation. Okay, let's click on plus. So destination, actually we recent implementation only this came. We don't have the, as of now we are not able to connect to the JMS server. They are trying to import it. If properly working, right, maybe it will work for all the JMS vendors or not. I did not go through this documentation. If it is, you can, instead of you type the queue name, you can connect to the server, and even you can browse, you can select the queue name. Instead of that, this is not working for us. What we can do, we can directly type the queue name. What was the queue? I wanted to send a message to the queue. Destination is referring to the both are same queue or topic. Both we can refer it as a destination. But to which you wanted to send a message, that will be specified here. So as soon as you look up here, right, you have to specify the queue names here. So you can see the syntax. It's a queue.jndi. If you give like this, it will be, this is the actual physical name is queue. If you see, I am trying to get my, I am using my JNDA name. With this JNDA name, it will publish a message to this one. So let me give the JNDA name. This is basically lookup. Okay, this is the name I am giving it. Based on this name, it automatically, since I am using the connection factory called queue connection factory, with this JNDA name, what was the queue configured? Example.queue. So if this example.queue is not available on your default server, let's go and create it. You already know how to create it. That's all. You just click on queue and then create it. Not this one, example.queue, you need to create it. I created already. And then you configure this my queue into Delbumi here. And if you wanted to maintain any transaction, you can configure it here. Otherwise, go for content. If you want to specify any text message or anything, if you want to specify XML, this is not highlighted unless until you select the text message. Yes, I'm going to send a text message. With that text also, it would be an XML message. I'm sending it here. Okay, then save and close. As soon as you send a message, okay, let me configure this same thing. JMS. Okay, get. I wanted to do get. Let's click on plus. What was the destination? This was the destination, and you can take everything as default. Maximum number of messages you want to receive. Let's put 5 messages you want to receive. Yeah, but in case if you have only one receiver for queue or topic, you won't see this behavior. You have to deploy multiple things, and both should be running before the messages will be available here. Then only you can see this scenario. Means you need to deploy, and then you need to deploy 2 receivers. Means each receiver, where you can put a receiver, you can put one process with the start shape with listen, and if you want to put one more receiver, you have to create a duplicate of the process, and then you need to deploy these 2 processes. It means on the same queue, these 2 receivers will be running. Maybe you can create one more process to publish the messages to that queue, and then as soon as you if you make your process run for 5 times, then you can see the pending message 5, and then you will be able to, each receiver process will be able to receive 2, one is a 2 and another one is a 3 messages will be received. Now let's see first of all whether it's properly running or not. Means whatever the content was received, the same thing will be sent here and will be receiving here back again. Even if you wanted to make your the queue name should be dynamically, even you can use set properties. The set properties also you can configure some of the things. Even you can just go and see or pending message size also. Okay, by default you are not able to see the messages. You can see the message queued and message dequeued. How many number of messages you put, how many number of messages you send it, and let's see what and all message it actually send it. This is the shape source data. This was the data it actually came, and let's see the connection data. This was the data actually stored on the server, and the priority would be 4. Is it redelivered? No. What was the destination? To which destination it was sent? Destination nothing but as I told you, it will be queue or topic. You can see this is the destination, but we did not specify this destination at all. We specified only my queue. How this will be pulled automatically based on the JNDA lookup, and then what was the type of message you sent and what content. And let's see whether the same message would be received it or not here. You can see the same message received. Let's run this process once again. You can see this one. This one is as of now only 3 you can see. 3 messages received in and 3 messages sent out. As soon as it runs, it can be increased. You can see one consumer was there. And the process was completed, the consumer count went to 0. It means, okay, let me stop the process. Let me disconnect it. I don't want to put the consumer. I wanted only the process to be publish the messages. Let me publish the 2 messages. Okay, I publish the message and retry previous test, so it will publish the one more message. Let me see whether the pending messages are available or not. You can see that number of pending messages are 2. Total enqueued was 6. Out of 6, only 4 got delivered, and still the 2 messages are there. Let me go to that queue, and these are the message IDs. As soon as you send a message, as soon as the message send, the MS would be delivering the one message ID, the queue ID. And even you can track that which message was it. The last message would be 4 times 1. Okay, all are 4 times 1, and even you can see the time difference. Both are same one, how it is. Yeah, somewhere it was different because it did not selected 2, only one was selected. ID and then 64357 1467131414516. It's a 21. It's a 21. It's a 23. That's the difference. So each and every time you send a message, there will be unique queue ID will be generated. And even when you click on view consumers, as of now there is no running process are there. If you any running process there, you could be able to see the running process and consumer count you can see. Let's click on this. What was the exact message? You can be able to open it. So whatever the properties that was showing here, you can see all the properties. This was the message ID, and the correlation, priority, redelivered, destination, correlation ID, sequence, expiration. If you set an expiration property, automatically the message will be expired after that particular time elapses. Persistent priority is for redelivered is for false. You can see the redelivered is false, and destination would be Destination would be example.myq. Destination would be example.myq. So when was delivered it? So what was the message content here? You can see all the message content also. Even if you want to copy this message to Boomi test also, it will be copied. Okay. I just click on move. So one of the message was moved to this one. Okay. I think now we have one pending message. When I receive it here this time, I'll receive only one message because I have only one pending message was there with here. So I just wanted to show that how this exactly this thing will be there, how the message looks like. This is what we can call it as a browsing functionality. Browsing. You can just see that browse. Even if you want to send a message, even you can just click on here and put your destination and type your message and then send it. You would be able to send the message. Okay, now let's reconnect our process. Even topics would be also same. You can see two messages are there. Go for queues. Total it would be 7. Since there is no relation, there is no subscriber or consumer on this one, the mailing message was still like this one. It will there until it will be consumed it. Whereas in topic, right, topic it will be, the message will be deleted automatically. If you don't subscribe it, right, now the time when the publisher is trying to send a message, during that time the subscriber is not available, the message will be deleted automatically from the topic. But whereas in queue it will not be deleted. It will be hold until the message until the consumer subscribe it, but whereas in topic it will not receive. So for that there was a one more addition for the topic was durable subscriber. You can see here. Go for subscribers. Durable subscriber by default topics will not store anything. For that topic, if you create a durable subscriber means it will means you are storing the message. What was the default behavior? If you send a message and if you don't available, if you are not available, then message will be deleted. So instead of deleting the message, he wanted to preserve the message. In that case, you will just create a subscriber, but you won't never use this one. In the Del Boomi, you will not use this much also. It's very rare to use MQ also or JMS. It has so much subject was there, all these messages, but nobody will use this one this much. Even this would be sufficient. Will be whatever the thing we have discussed today will be more than sufficient. You can see one was the, since our process was running, you can see the subscriber, non-durable topic subscribers. No connection could be found because already the message would be delivered to delivery. Click on refresh. Okay. This is how, even if you don't want to make this thing, right, even you can make your queue name as a dynamic using the set property. Go for set property. Then select the JMS. You can select all these options. You can select the destination here also. Now I want what I was doing. I was configure something here. I wanted to configure this one boomi.test. I wanted to copy this, but I wanted to update the JNDA server. Update my JNDA server. Okay. The format would be, this is the actual queue. Since I done some changes, need to restart the active MQ. Otherwise this change will not able to identify, because you only read the property file when it was starting the MQ service. Now let's this was actually missing in here. I think instead of doing right, maybe I'll just put test queue something, and then automatically go and get the boomi.test. Okay, now let me restart it. Starting is specified, and let test. Then publish the message here. Then we are sending a message to different queue, and we are trying to receive a message on different queue. You can see the error message. What was the error message we got? Go for view log. No here. On here. What exactly saying? Name not found exception test. It was giving test is not found. Maybe you restart your atom once again. Let me see whether the one I updated proper one. Oh, I think we are updating a different one. So maybe we can just put the same entry, not in this Boomi local, this one, not this one. We need to update it to this one, I think, active empty. Let me put it here. Okay, now I done this change, and then let me restart the MQ. Let me run this process once again. You can see that what was the message we sent it here, boomi.test. What we configured here is test. Using the test, it automatically pulled out into the J&A property file, and then it actually figured it. But what we configured in the operation was the example.myq. So it was send a message, and this time it actually has one of the pending message. I think it was received it. I think where it was received. You can see that there is no message received in this one here, because we were trying to listening on the different queue example.myq, but we will send it to a message called boomi.test. You can just see, since we did not receive a message, right? There will be pending message will be there. Pending message would be there. So one message was sent and other message would be actually copied from this one. That's the reason you are seeing message include is not showing too. Even if you wanted to purge it, if you want to delete these pending messages, you delete it. Delete in the sense, delete. Okay, I think actually the delete should not actually do. Another thing, right? Delete nothing but you wanted to delete specific message. Purging nothing but purging also it will completely delete the message. Purging will permanently delete the message. You want to send it anything? Maybe you can send this to some other queue. Okay, even you can publish a message over here. So this is how we'll work with the JMS connectors. Only when you want to achieve asynchronous communication, then you go with the JMS. Otherwise, that's a requirement for us to go this JMS.